mask on and mask off. The narcissist will come into your life one way and leave another. Those jokers are two-faced. They'll show you one face in the beginning and a totally different face in the end. They have one personality at the forefront and another at the end. One set of traits at the beginning and another at the end. How they come in is not the way they leave. A female narcissist may come in saying, "I'm a lady." And by the time she leaves, she's robbing you, saying, "Give me the keys to your car and your medallion." How is it that they can go back and forth with you like a pair of flip-flops with such ease, with such a smooth transition? How can a person that you saw in the very beginning disappear without a trace? This is because they are just performing. They are just playing a role. They're playing a role for a purpose. They want applause. They want acclaim. They want the accolades. They want to be paid even. At the very end, they're going to take a bow. They're going to ask you, how did they do? Did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy the performance? They're going to ask you, what was your favorite part? What did you like the most? They're going to be smiling while you're confused. I dealt with a covert narcissist for 14 years, and it was always Jekyll and Hyde. It was always hot and cold. It was one side of a coin versus the other. There were three areas or three ways that the narcissist came in and left differently. First, he came in vulnerable and he left cocky. When I first met the narcissist, he was quiet as a mouse. He barely spoke. He barely said anything to me, especially on the first night of meeting him. He was super quiet. He was very much like a gentleman for the most part. He was quite romantic. He offered to pay for my meals and etc. He wanted to spend a lot of time with me. He took me on several dates. He acted as if he was totally smitten with me. He didn't want to lose me. He was quite the conversationalist. He was playing love songs. He was buying me gifts. I thought he was totally open to falling in love. And by the time the narcissist left my life 14 years later, he had gotten extremely cocky. He looked and acted nothing like the guy that I met on day one. He got very cocky in the end. He said lots of cocky things. He said lots of things that showed he was up on a very high horse. He said and did lots of things that tried to bring me down a peg or two. He would ask me, "Who's going to put up with you? You're just going to end up lonely. You can't leave me. You ain't going nowhere. I'm not going to let you out of this marriage. I'm not going to sign these divorce papers. I'm not going to let you go off and find a Christian man to submit to." He got very cocky, very much arrogant, very much in his ego. He was a totally different person from the humble guy that I thought I knew at the beginning. Another area where the narcissist came in different and left another way was that he was very hot and heavy in the very beginning and cold and distant in the very end. The narcissist in the very beginning acted as if he could not get enough of me. He wanted to see me all the time. He would hop a Greyhound bus to come to see me in my hometown. He would talk to me for hours on end on the phone. He would talk my ear off. He would tell all types of jokes. It would be endless conversation with him in the very beginning. He talked to me about everything. We fell asleep on the phone together. He talked nonstop. He talked constantly. There was a plethora of communication with him. Suddenly, his words became fewer and fewer. Suddenly, his conversation waxed cold. He started being very distant, whereas once upon a time he was all up on me. Once upon a time he never wanted to leave the house because he always wanted to be around me. And then suddenly he started hanging out all times of the night. Didn't want to come home till 1, 2, and 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes 4 and 5. One time even 6 a.m. Whereas he was warm in the very beginning, hot and heavy, he was not that way in the end. He was very cold. Once upon a time, the narcissist was hot and heavy and wanting to touch you all the time. They couldn't get enough of being around you. They wanted lots of hugs and kisses from you. They held your hand. And then suddenly in the end, they didn't want to touch you at all. They didn't want to be around you at all. Once they would ask you, what's taking you so long to come to bed? And then in the end, they will not meet you in the marital bed. They will start sleeping in other rooms, sleeping in the man cave, sleeping outside the home. At one point, they were bolder and bolder, and in the end, they started getting colder and colder. One time, you were in the middle of a newlywed swing, and then in the end, the narcissist acted like they never knew you. Once upon a time, you had an endless honeymoon, and in the end, they didn't know you from the man in the moon. And the third area where the narcissist came in different from the way that he left was, at first he was sweet talking, and then in the end, it turned into cussing me out. At first it was baby this and baby that. At first it was, you're my baby, you're my Beyonce. He went from calling you his baby to now the B word. In the end, they start talking to you any kind of way. When they used to praise you and lift you up and have you on a pedestal, they now start to put you down and say any and everything towards you, any and all evilness towards you. They start to tear down your self-esteem in every way that they can, especially verbally. They will tell you that you aren't nothing. They will start comparing you to other women. You're going to get chewed up and spit out in the worst way. Whereas they used to whisper sweet things in your ear, now they're cussing you out in the worst way. They're saying all kinds of words to you that cut you deep and break your bones. They don't talk to you with reverence or respect. They don't talk to you with patience. They snap on you and they crash out on you. They start taking their anger and frustrations out on you verbally. They used to tell you all day, every day that they loved you. And in the end, they will stop saying it. In a worldly view, you'll call this type of spirit Jekyll and Hyde. But the Bible actually talks about a spirit such as this, and it is a lukewarm spirit. It's neither hot nor cold. It is a spirit that is tossed to and fro like the wind. It is the spirit of double-mindedness. There is no way that you can take a spirit like this seriously. There's nothing that they can say to you that you can believe. There's no action that they can take that you can believe in and put your trust in. A person that does this back and forth like this flip-flop, this switch on and switch off, they cannot be trusted. You are not safe with a person such as this. This person has no consistency and they don't have any reliability. This is not a person that you can walk beside. This is not a person that is your friend. This is not a person that you can be yoked up with. This is not a person that's suitable for you. You have to cut ties. You have to sever ties. You have to walk away. This person is not steadfast and they're not unmovable. Nothing about them is going to be always abounding. This person is the type of enemy that you must resist. You have to let their wayward spirit, wayward personality dismiss itself from you. Flee. You deserve someone of equal yoking. You deserve that friend that's going to stick closer than a brother. You cannot afford to tie your life up and tie your life down with someone who is all over the place. This person is confused and this person walks in darkness. And you have to let them go so that you can continue to walk into the marvelous light.